Our next step in the process for combining, which is the main focus of our chapter, we're going to focus on dividing. But before we can talk about dividing fractions and mixed numbers, which is our focus today, with decimals tomorrow, we need to talk about the meaning of division and what a dividend and a divisor are. So a dividend is going to be that thing to be divided. It's the first number given in a division problem, what we're doing the work to. A divisor, on the other hand, is the size of each group or number of groups being divided into. It's that second number given in a division problem. I like to remember this as dividend comes before divisor in a division problem. So does dividend come before divisor alphabetically. Now, we have rules that, if you recall, these work for any kind of positive and negative numbers when dividing, not just fractions and decimals. But if the signs are the same, the answer is positive. Just like 2 weeks ago when we did adding and subtracting, and if the signs were the same, you found the sum. This same thing goes here. So now, if the signs are different, the answer is negative. Just like if the answer signs were different when you subtracted or added, then you found the difference. So to sum that up, those rules look like this. Positive divided by positive is positive, positive divided by negative is negative, negative divided by positive is negative, negative divided by negative is positive. Now, one of the rules that we're going to end up using is something called KFC, or keep flip change, as many of you probably have learned it, meaning keep the first fraction, flip the second or find the reciprocal, and change the division sign to multiplication. Let's go ahead and use this in practice to talk about the meaning of division. So if we have 12 divided by 4, what this means is we want to know how many 4s there are needed to make 12, which, as you know, we need 3 4s to make 12. Keeping on going down the list, 12 divided by 3 means how many 3s are needed to make 12, which is 4. In a similar fashion, 12 divided by 2 is how many 2s are needed to make 12, which we know is 6. And 12 divided by 1 is how many 1s are needed to make 12, which we know we need 12 1s to make 12. Now here's where the tricky part comes in. We know now, by seeing the pattern, that the 12 divided by 1/2 means, well, how many halves are needed to make 12? And if you think about that, if we have a whole, like a pie, we cut it in half, and I want to know how many halves are needed to make 12. I know that there are 2 halves in 1. And therefore there will be 4 halves in 2, which is always double what the number is. So then, therefore, if we take 12 and divide it into groups of a half, we know that there are 24 halves that are needed to make 12, which would be like saying 12 times 2, which we keep the first number, we flipped the second number, and we changed our division sign to multiplication. So now in the next video we're going to put that into practice.